after the drones were in the air, they've already dropped the whole pretense like why Iran did this and are reframing the narrative as Iran struck first. And you will see red lines are being crossed by Iran against Israel is the standing narrative. So quickly did it change. Yesterday, I told you yesterday that this was going to happen, and it's already happening. Israel has a right to defend itself is going to be the meta again.
At the same time, I do think it's important to underscore that Iran has been very clear and has telegraphed that it will mete out a retaliation for that attack on the Iranian compound, the diplomatic embassy compound in Damascus on April 1st. And so some are extrapolating from that by telegraphing it so clearly, Iran is trying to find that precise point. And this is where it gets dangerous and difficult.
She's doing a decent job
between escalating and retaliating and avoiding creating a scenario that you can't pull back from the brink of. There is always the capacity for things to go wrong.
Whoever hurts us, we hurt them. We will protect ourselves from any threat and will do so with coolness and determination. I know that you, citizens of Israel, are also keeping your cool. I urge you to listen to the directives of the Home Front Command. Together we will stand, and with God's help, together we will overcome all our enemies.
Oh, finally, we got the weirdos in here again. So you're rooting for Iran. If this prompts a response from the U.S., it could mean economic collapse and further escalation. Iran controls oil exports. Millions could die. It's not good that Iran escalated now. What the f*** do you mean? If you're mad that Iran retaliated to Israel, you should be incredibly angry at Joe Biden and incredibly angry at Israel for literally getting it to this level, for allowing Israel to feel comfortable in drawing the United States into this broader conflict. Iran didn't escalate. Iran retaliated. If Clarissa Ward on CNN can understand that fact, if Clarissa Ward on CNN is saying that Iran is trying to retaliate in an even fashion so that they do not draw an even larger response from Israel, you should be able to understand that too. It is wild to assume that a regional actor that has developed its weapons capabilities specifically for this purpose is not going to retaliate when their own soil is struck. The Damascus consulate compound is Iranian soil. Israel greatly escalated it. The reason why you didn't hear about it is because mainstream media barely covered it. It was a blip. When it was a major move, the United States' response to Israel's major move was to say, oh, they didn't tell us. That's really fucked up that they didn't tell us ahead of time. This is awful. This is going to possibly ruin the lives of many people in Israel. It's probably going to ruin the lives of many people in Iran, and would, if, depending on what happens after this, depending on how this round of retaliation goes and how Israel chooses to escalate, and given that they've been violent and belligerent from the jump, which caused this retaliation to happen to begin with, I worry that this will have global consequences. I hope not. But the next couple of days will determine the future of this planet. It can be a tempered approach. The United States will rein in Israel and say, listen, they took pot shots back at you after you took pot shots. You just got to take the L here. Or it can mean full-scale global conflict. I have a little faith in the USA that can handle this appropriately. The reason why this is happening today is because the USA has not handled it appropriately. If Anthony Blinken, like he tweeted on October 8th, urged Israel to de-escalate and urged restraint for Israel, if that tweet had been kept up after that meeting with Hakan Fidan, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, after Anthony Blinken and Hakan Fidan had a conversation on October 8th, that was something that Anthony Blinken tweeted and deleted very quickly. If that was the attitude from October 8th, it would have never gotten to this point, because Israel would know that there are red lines. Israel would know that there are boundaries that they cannot cross if they demand unconditional support from the United States of America. Biden, on the other hand, reaffirmed his commitment to Israel, said that there were no red lines, symbolically bear hugged Benjamin Netanyahu, and said, go all out. You've watched what Israel has done in the last 6 months after that. When you tell Israel no red lines, they're going to keep crossing the red lines that other regional actors have drawn. Understandable red lines that other regional actors have drawn. You let the dog off the leash. That's the point. Okay, official IRGC statement. Breaking. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps releases a statement. In response to the crime of the Zionist regime and the attack on the consular section of the Iranian embassy in Damascus, the IRGC Air Force hit certain targets in the territories of the Zionist regime with dozens of drones and missiles. That's what they said. I said this a couple of days ago, but it does seem I might be totally off base on this, but it does seem like, given the fact that Iran very clearly spelled out that this would be a retaliation against Israel for the Damascus strike, that their response, while to you guys from afar looks like, you know, overkill, so many drones, is most likely going to try to strike an Israeli target of equal worth. The reason why they're sending hundreds of drones, of course, in 3 different salvos is because Israel, alongside with coalition forces, has tremendous defenses. So they're trying to get through it. That's the reason why. Most of those drones are not going to make it. Some of them will be intercepted above Syria. Some of them will be intercepted above Iraq. And some of them will be intercepted near Israel. Okay? You sound like you are condoning attacking Israel, aka civilian population. I genuinely don't understand how you can be at the precipice of World War III and still be interested in trying to farm a clip. Literally, that's wild to me. That is actually wild to me. There are hundreds of drones currently heading in the direction of Israel, and there are still chatters in here who are like, I can't wait to get a clip off here. This is gonna pop off on Reddit. I have never, oh my God. I'm Israeli and I live in the north. I'm going to sit in my balcony and just watch the missiles and drones come in law. Be safe, bro. What the fuck? Don't rely on the Iron Dome. These are not bathtub missiles. You know what I mean? These are not bathtub missiles being lobbed from Gaza, made by 17-year-olds using Israeli rocket parts. These are big boy drones and possibly big boy missiles to come as a follow-up. Is it, you know... This isn't like, I mean, even when Hezbollah ends up striking northern Israel, there is more of a threat than the Hamas and Islamic Jihad rockets. So is this a genuine attack which has strategic goals or an authoritarian government reasserting authority by peacocking after they got smacked? No, it is a genuine retaliatory attack from an authoritarian government reasserting its authority. But it is a genuine retaliation to a regional actor that has gotten out of control. Fucked up that this is what LeBron has to say about the war. Nothing like 2 heavyweights doing what they do best for the love of the sport. That's messed up, dude. I'm gonna quote tweet. Is it cheesy to quote tweet it and be like, nothing like 2 heavyweights doing what they do best for the love of the sport? How can NatSec bros look at this and say Iran is at fault? They are being the aggressor as if everything happens in a vacuum. What do you mean? They're either A, paid to feel that way, or B, directly LARPing as a person who's paid to be that way when they are not. Also, this is still not a good thing for the chatters who are celebrating. You're behaving like many of you were on October 7th. If you cannot see how much worse things are going to get, especially given Israel's track record so far, I don't know what to tell you. It's bad. It's just all bad. This is also another interesting perspective that even I forgot to cover here. Iran says it wouldn't need to retaliate if UN had condemned the strike on Damascus. This is from Times of Israel on the 11th of April, 2024. The imperative for Iran to retaliate for the attack on its embassy compound in Damascus might have been avoided had the UN Security Council condemned the strike, Tehran's mission to the United Nations says. Had the UN Security Council condemned the Zionist regime's reprehensible act of aggression on our diplomatic premises in Damascus and subsequently brought justice to its perpetrators, the imperative for Iran to punish this rogue regime might have been obviated, the mission writes on X. Israel has not publicly commented on the strike. Now, just a reminder that that's why the American response to the Damascus embassy strike was very... Do you really think all they wanted was a finger wagging from the UN? No, they also say punish the perpetrators. Here's the thing. The Iranian government doesn't really want the smoke either. If they did, they would have retaliated after October 8th, but they never did. If you remember, one of the major things that happened after October 7 was something that was truly unique, truly unprecedented. The heads of the Iranian state, the American State Department, and even the Israeli government organs were all collectively saying that Iran did not have anything to do with October 7. That was truly a unique moment, especially because the American State Department and the Israeli government love saying everything is Iran's fault. They love it. They love, even when it's not, and in many instances it is, they always say it's Iran's fault. The point is that Iran has showed a lot of restraint thus far. If it were to utilize this as an opportunity for good PR for itself, seeing like the way that the Houthis were treated, Ansar Allah was treated. How does Israel benefit from dragging the U.S. into this conflict? What do you mean? Israel wants total elimination of Iran. Israel wants to nuke Iran. America is the #1 country on the planet. It's the top dog. It's the hegemonic superpower. Having America in your corner means more weapons. Having America in your corner means better support directly from the largest actor in every